Hi, this is Panda, and today we are going to talk about politics. I was talking to a friend of mine who agrees with my point of view that BJP's ideology on religion can't be good for the country. BJP, through its surrogates like Bajrang Dal, RSS, the Godi media, and their IT cell, keep putting out propaganda videos incessantly targeting Muslims with the objective of creating hate among the Hindus. This would eventually lead to civil war if not checked. My friend and I, of course, agreed on the ideological side of it, but he still thinks that BJP is good for the country. He argued that BJP has done great things to uplift the economy. I did not have a lot of data on my hands, so I did not argue back, but I wanted to check it for myself. We all know that India is the fifth largest economy in the world right now. So I wanted to check where it was in the past. When I looked at historical data, India stood at the 12th position by GDP in 2004. It rose to the 10th position by 2014, and now we are at the 5th position globally in terms of GDP. Now, global ranking is great for boosting one's ego, but to study it thoroughly, you have to look at it in absolute numbers and percentages. So I pulled up the historical GDP data online, and let me put it on the screen right now. You can freeze the frame and look at it for yourself, or I'll add a link in the description. I'll have to read this part because I don't want to get the numbers wrong. Between 2003 and 2014, India's GDP grew from $2,039.13 billion to $3,737 billion. That is a growth of 86%, 86.26% exactly. Between 2014 and 2004, India's GDP grew from $709.15 billion to $2,039.13 billion. That is a growth of 187.55%. Now, before Modi Bhakts attack me saying this is an unfair comparison since it's comparing 10 years of Manmohan Singh against 9 years of Modi, let's do that math as well. Comparing 2004 to 2013 against 2014 to 2023, the numbers are 161.82% during Manmohan Singh's era and 83.26% during Modi. That's twice the percentage of growth in GDP. But we're still talking in percentages. So let's do a comparison in absolute numbers. This is where the numbers look like they're clearly in Modi ji's favor. There was a growth of $1,698 billion approximately in Modi's 9 years against $1,148 billion in Manmohan Singh's reign. But that's not all. I also wanted to see how the BJP performed during Atal ji's reign between 1999 and 2004. So here are the numbers. In those 5 years, the GDP grew by 55% and $250 billion. Even if you double that, it would still be lesser than Manmohan Singh's era's growth. That's because there's a natural growth in our GDP due to rising population, improvement in finance, technology, increasing FDI, etc. Hence, absolute numbers may not be the right way to look at this. I always say that rather than GDP, we should look at GDP per capita. Because while we may rank number 5th in the world in terms of GDP, in GDP per capita, we rank 120th from among 178 countries. The GDP per capita increased by $1,041 in Modi's 9 years compared to $814 in Manmohan Singh's reign. But in percentages, that was 67% for Modi and 130% for Manmohan Singh. Now, since we are talking about GDP per capita, maybe we should also look at income and wealth inequality in India. I know you know where I'm going with this. So here are some figures I pulled out. I will not name names, Adani, Ambani. Okay. But if you look at these indicators, you'll also realize that in Modi's era, the rich have become richer and the poor have either remained poor or become poorer. The top 5% people hold over 60% of the country's wealth. Add to this the fact that the bottom 50% of the population holds merely 3% of the country's wealth. I found another statistics in another site that said that in the financial year 2021, the income of the bottom 50% actually decreased by almost half compared to the previous year. Check the chart here. Doesn't this kind of disillusion you from the whole fifth largest economy narrative? Just to put things into perspective, had the growth rate from the Manmohan Singh era continued the same, had it not been brought down by some stupid decisions like demonetization, the hasty implementation of GST, and of course a global pandemic which could not have been avoided, we would probably already be the third largest economy in the world. That is Prime Minister Modi's poll promise for 2024. If you are a Modi Bhakt, you may not change your mind. If you are a Modi Bhakt, you maybe vote for him because you think Hindu khatre mein hai. But if you are a fan of Modi because you think he has brought the country forward, you might want to take a look at these figures that I've put up today. You might want to critically analyze what the government tells you. Now, before I leave you, let me give you another snippet. And this is an interesting one. The banks have waived off 14.56 lakh crores of corporate debt from 2014 to 2015 until now, as per government reports. I heard somewhere that the same number was around 3.41 lakh crores in the Manmohan era, although I didn't find any article that lists this information clearly. I did find articles that say that BJP is blaming Congress for these bad loans. I mean, these are the people who can blame Nehru for Kangana's movie not working. I did find articles that say that Manmohan Singh government waived off 52,000 crore of agricultural debt. I'll give you a link to that article in the description. Now, I have to mention this because people get very angry these days when you, as a citizen, use your right to question your elected representatives. I'm not trying to sway voters. I'm only trying to encourage people to think critically about what the government tells you. Cherry picking data to paint a rosy picture is nothing new, but when it comes to choosing a government that can shape or ruin your future, you have to see through the propaganda at facts and figures so that you can make an informed decision. That's me signing off. Goodbye.